I I wanted to do a little something on haters and negativity. I was watching a friend of mine who does a vlog today. I couldn't help but laugh because I've so been there, and he's having problems with haters and trolls, which I think I know what troll means. He said he didn't know what troll meant, and I think I know what it means, but I'm still not quite sure myself. But for me, I can only talk about me. It's my damn vlog, so I guess that's what I do here. I know that's what I do here, actually. I I've had so much contact with people lately. I know that I've got a lot of practice at it, and for me, I know that it has more to do with that person leaving the hate and negativity. And to tell you the truth, even on my music sites, it's just not happening that much. In nearly 25,000, there's an email right there. There's been like less than 10 haters, which has been really nice. My and that's in the last 2 months, like 12,000 a month hits. But what I can do, and I use this. This is something somebody taught me a long time ago, and I still can't do it all the time. But it helps me kind of put things into perspective, and that is, I can trace every single. Maybe give the mic a little more preamp. There you go, preamp. A little more. I don't want it to distort, but I want it to be punchy and have that warm, classic Eric tone, man. uh, I can trace everything that I do, every single action, from getting out of bed, eating, sleeping, the things I do and say during the day, to two sources. And I'm either coming from a place of love or fear in all of my dealings. And as far as these haters, I like to leave all comments stand if I can, but what I don't do, and it's not censoring criticism, because I know who I am and what I am at this age, and I can definitely take criticism, legitimate criticism, but not attacks. And one of the ways that I qualify, and there's been so few of them, there's only been like 10, and even some marginal stuff, but I don't let negativity stand. But the way that I qualify it and what works for me is I ask myself, is this person coming from a place of love or fear and hate, and jealousy? And because when you get somebody, they have their name on their profile, and it's a nice site and a legitimate username, 999 times out of 1,000. In fact, there's only been one, fuck you person in every 2,000 on this site. And I can always tell. I'm very blasé about it now. I don't react to it at all. And I used to get a rush when I see a thumbs down or a fuck you. Now I'm like, really? You think if you post something publicly on the internet, available to just anyone, that a few people, for whatever reasons, and that's their trip, and it's usually an ugly trip, is what I found, are going to drop by and post fuck you? It's kind of a no-brainer, And my reaction to it is everything, And I used to get a big rush, actually, of like fear and pain, and just pain, when people would post shit like that. But, it's really this whole experience of marketing this site, music site, to literally between 30 and 50,000 people a day, and definitely 3 to 500, if not 1,000 hits a day, and 100 or hundreds of comments and emails and stuff, has really sort of made me realize, like, other people are going to do what they do, and they're not always going to come from a place of love. And a good example is, like I said, with the phony sites, every time I've been able to trace back a thumb, pretty much if somebody posts a fuck you and then a thumb shows up, I'm pretty certain that, and I that's who did it. That's a no-brainer. And then, if I wanted to, I'm a what some would say a fair hand with computers. I could track down every thumbs down person. That actually leaves a bit of code, a code trail that you could track if you wanted. But I don't even bother. I don't even bother hitting the thumbs down sign. That's how little I care anymore. It's not even little I care. It's how little I let them jangle me. Because every time I trace back those haters or thumbs down or go to their site, it's a phony, fake profile that's completely blank, where someone has uploaded nothing. And then when I used to set up an automatic deal that would monitor the fake site, and anytime there was any change to it, I would be notified by email instantly. And then I would look I could see by email what was changed, but I would go there anyway and look, and I'd see that it was somebody who had a phony site that really liked a very terrible, just completely horrible band, and they hit the like button on 20 of their songs, and I'm wondering, gee, I'll bet the fella who owns this fake profile also has this band site. And when I go to the band site, this happens so much I don't even look anymore. It was somebody who was obviously frustrated and obviously angry that my site gets a lot more hits, like actually is active and gets hits, and the music would be really poorly produced. And I could see why the person was frustrated, because a lot of times their project was not nearly there yet. And I know that because I used to be one of those people that came from a place of, oh man, this guy's getting a lot of hits and they're good, thumbs down, fuck them, and for me anymore, now I'm sort of old enough too, and mature enough, I guess, maybe. I have my moments, so believe me, that negative thumb is hovering sometimes. But yeah, I used to be the type of person who would, do that out of my own frustration. But the comments that I get have been so overwhelmingly positive, and really just, raving positivity, if you will, that I kind of have to put a damper on that too, and realize, well, that's really nice, but I'm just a guy making music, no biggie, and I guess it sort of taught me, like, to not really pay that much. And I already knew this, but I've had to relearn, like, to not really pay all that much attention, to do what I do and do it the best I can, and not pay that much attention to what people are saying, out there. Alright, I'll subscribe to this person. But it is something that keeps me coming and going. And with getting upset occasionally, it's much less now, but occasionally, I've been, to the point of more than once of, like, what, I have the necessary skills and knowledge, and even at one time, and being a guy who could track anybody down, and via computer and in real life and take care of business. I mean, I've been so pissed at some of the things that people have, the haters, and they're, every time though, it's a jealous hater, not coming from a place of love, somebody who's really fucked up. And but yeah, I mean, there, for a few minutes I was so disturbed myself when somebody, posted just horrible stuff on my site, that if I could have appeared in that person's bedroom where they were cowering behind their little fake site posting garbage like that, in the heat of the moment, I might have actually killed somebody. I was that worked up. And then I came to my senses and I was like, well, so you're going to kill somebody over a little bit of like crazy text on the internet? Anymore, I'm just cruising an email like, how about that? Block. Oh, that's nice. Subscribe. That's nice. Subscribe. That's nice. Subscribe 100 times. That's nice. Subscribe to that guy. And then once, oh man, block, asshole. I don't even have to read the whole thing. Oh, asshole. And the other thing is, it comes and goes though. It's just like feeling good in life and feeling good about yourself. Some days yeah, some days no. It takes practice for me. I'm not always really enlightened. I mean, it's like this. One time I used to work with alcoholics and addicts and people with psych problems a lot, and on a volunteer basis. And although I have education in that area as well as technical areas, but I went to a rehab hospital one time to speak, to be a speaker. And one guy there just didn't like me, and I used to speak before thousands of people and would, requested all the time and felt like I was pretty good at it. But one guy just didn't like me, and he sort of heckled and twisted and turned and during the question and answer made some put downs and stuff. And I was there with a friend of mine, also from another from a group that I went to, and when we walked out, the guy was such an asshole, the patient nonetheless, that I told my friend, I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to go right back in there and I am going to beat the shit out of this son of a bitch and show him who the fuck is boss here, because he's just a low down dirty dog, And my friend was a real funny guy, Rocky, and a one-time New York thug, and a pretty cool guy. And he goes, so let me get this straight. Let me maybe it's me, I'm all fucked up or something, but let me get this straight. So you go into a fucking mental institution as like a guy who's got his shit together and all recovered and shit, and then you go beating on fucking mental patients and shit? What the fuck is the matter with you? And then when I saw it in that light, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. And when I stood back from the whole thing, I was able to go like, oh man, what kind of a sick fuck goes to a mental institute and beats up the patients, But I really was going to go back in there and he had pissed me off so much, and I was like, he don't respect shit, he don't respect me, and I'll teach him goddamn respect. I will pummel this fucker, at a mental hospital, where I was invited to, speak and do a question and answer thing. And so anyway, yeah. But, with the haters, when I go there now, and I'm sure once you come in now and I might get furious, I'm better at it, but I think it comes and goes in us all. But really what I do now, somebody hated on me the other night, and I'm not even really hating. She just posted on my site, a French woman posted moron on my site for making a friend request to her. And I got that little rush. It's much smaller now. That little rush of like, why, motherfucker, who is this, And I went to her site, and just from the blurbs of text and her description that she wrote, I used my Hannibal Lecter like FBI profiler type skills and training to realize right away this woman was a hardcore feminist who had been raped in her teens and was now using that negative experience as a prejudice against men. And because it said all over her site, men are a big walking dick that wants to fuck it. I mean, it was just, and there were like 40 little one-liners against men, and then like 40 one-liners about how awesome, or 200 one-line things about how awesome and gentle and wonderful women are. And I thought, well, I got to agree with you there, baby, baby. But she was a hardcore feminist, and she was using that experience, that one negative experience she had, which I'm sure was horrible. But from reading it, there were classic symptoms of someone who had been raped and probably beaten by a man in her teens, and this is a pretty standard profile shit. And also a person who was just in terrible mental condition still at 56, it said on the page. And it all kind of checked out. I did a little poking around and looking at it. But I realized, I guess a cowboy posted on a feminist site is sort of moronic. I understand that. I get you, lady. And then at the same time, I felt sorry for her because I realized, well, she's had these horrible experiences. I can tell just by going through these videos and these text blurbs. And I can see, but she's also used that prejudice and prejudice is another way. And I do it all the time, but I'm better at it. Not as much, but I used to really do it. Prejudice of all kinds. Not against races or anything, but more against certain ideas. It's another way of closing your mind to reality and the truth. And, and I'm no enlightened soul. Really, I get really fucking pissed and, all that stuff a lot. We all do. I think that's the trick of life, is to keep your balance when people throw you off balance, and especially with these haters are so random, But, yeah, this woman had used that to close her mind and against, certain types, and cowboys were one of them, and she just automatically posted moron. But I felt sorry for her because it was obvious she was sick. And a lot of times when I look at the hater sites and the people, I swear to God, I'm not saying this just to be saying this anymore. There's so much activity. Like on my features, doesn't matter what I feature, I'm going to get a thumbs down, and every 1,000 hits, I'm going to get 1.3 thumbs down on my features. I went to my site the other night, one of my music sites, and I was like, I looked at the top of the page, like, it's so many thousands of hits. There should be one more thumbs down on that song, exactly, And I would have been disappointed had there not been that added thumbs down. But out of every 1,000 people, I think 50 hit thumbs up and 1 hits thumbs down, something like that, on that particular song. And they've been thumbs up on all of them, much more than hardly any thumbs down. Like out of now 1,000 thumbs up, there's been 10 or 17 thumbs down in the I'm not looking at it, but I don't really look that much. But after the first 100 or so. But yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It comes and goes, and I think that really matters on, for me, it's my perception and how I react to it. And I got tired of giving myself a heart attack over every fuck you at 3 a.m. when it comes in. I just kind of anymore I look at it like, yeah, it's been every 3,000 hits or so I get a fuck you, I think, or a negative comment. And I just kind of go, yeah, it was about time. How about that? Okay, block, bye. I don't feed the hatred, So I try to come from a place of love. And if anybody, somebody taught me that when I was just a kid. I won't even drop the name of the guy who taught me that, because I'm going to go into him and review his music. He's kind of a well-known, let's just say he plays with an ex-Beatle, and I'm going to review his music soon, as soon as I can come from a place of love, because I'm having a hard time with him. We have a real long history. He still plays with Paul, and I don't know him anymore at all, really, but we were close for about a year and off and on sort of acquaintances for many, many, many years, and it's tough. But anyway, this fellow taught me that when I was in my 20s, and from, like I said, from the time I get up to making this vlog, I can trace it back to love or fear, and every interaction I have on the internet with anybody else. And when I go to a hater site and check them out, now I pretty much feel sorry for him anymore. I'm like, oh, this poor twisted fucking Bangkok is like, I can see all he does is go around hating on people. Oh, somebody replied to something right there. That was from Raggy. Yeah, he's a cool guy, a really neat guy. He's one of the things that reminded me of that, of haters and negativity. But I guess it really, I was thinking in the shower, it sort of goes back to, is it, I guess Zorba the Greek is Zorba. I was gonna say Kafka or Dostoevsky, or anyway, God and the devil walk hand in hand on a beach, laughing at this whole ordeal. So, but yeah, I'm not always able to be that philosophical. There have been times, especially with this last project, when I'm like kind of sensing, well, my time to do this might be limited, and my time on this freaking earth might be limited. So this means a lot to me to sort of leave this legacy, and then to have somebody just la 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 la, thumbs down and fuck you. I'm like, I would have shed blood over it and probably killed over it more than once. But when I come to my senses, then I'm like, oh man, this poor bastard, all he does is go around. And I can see why he's enraged. He sucks. Not really that so much, but just like, oh man, I can see this guy's he's just full of hate, and he's miserable. So, but hey, I guess God and the devil probably do walk hand in hand, and sort of look at the imbalance of all things and get a chuckle out of it. So more than anything, though, I try not to let my reaction, and I'll say it again, and man, what practice I've got lately. Like I say, I the last several negative things that came in, I'm really going through email, just going love, 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 love this, they all love me, love, love, they love what I'm doing, but thank you so much, it means so much. Oh, somebody says fuck you, block, delete, yeah, love, love, love. I guess it's part of the eternal struggle for a guy's soul. I was going to say, I resisted the urge to curse. I guess it's part of the eternal struggle for one sumbitch's soul. Oh, God.